Hello, crafters. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I have my microphone sitting in my lap. We'll see how this goes. Still haven't worked out the best, location or any of that stuff yet. So hi, this is Kathleen, The Pearled Nest. You can find me on Instagram as The Pearled Nest. I'm on Ravelry as Special K Holla. And so those are the places you could find me. This is a mostly knitting and crochet podcast, but we do dabble in some other things as well. So let's just jump right in, right? Let's make this short and sweet. I have been busy the last couple of weeks, and here comes the dog. Maybe more people. There's the husband. Say hi, David. Hello. There's the husband. Still getting used to doing this with people around. I'm not 100% sure I'm used to doing this with people around. We shall see. So let's talk about what I've been doing. So I think in my last episode I talked about teaching the class, the 2 at a time sock knitting class. That went really well. And I've got to actually check in with those gals and see how they're doing and see if they finish their socks. I'll let you know in the next episode. I will be teaching another one of those 2 at a time sock knitting classes in July at my local yarn shop, My Sister Knits in Fort Collins, Colorado. Oh, I don't remember the dates. Wait for it. If you're in Fort Collins or Northern Colorado, I think my first class is the 27th. It's three classes. So it's July 27th, July 3rd. Oh, maybe it's the week before the 27th. Those are all Tuesdays, 6 o'clock in the evening. I don't know if the classes are full yet, so if you're interested, you're going to want to call my sister, if you live in the area, call My Sister Knits and see if they've got any openings in those classes. It does take 3 classes, we've discovered. So you're not going to want to just hop into one because we'll be covering different things in each class. I'm toying with the idea of doing a video tutorial on them, but there's already some really good ones out there, and I don't have that equipment that allows the camera to be above where my hands are. And my hands don't always look fabulous, so I'm a little self-conscious of that, so probably won't do that. But if you live locally, I'm happy to show you how to do it for a bottle of wine. Anyway, so that I have that, and then I'm going to be teaching 2 at a time sleeve class as well at the same yarn shop. Let's see, that's in August. That is August 24th at 6 o'clock. That's a Tuesday. And then I will be teaching 2 at a time mittens, and I think that one's in October. I'll tell you later when we get there. So 2 at a time clearly is my thing. So I finished my samples and for the yarn shop for the 2 at a time class for socks. And I did it so that I had the two legs finished and 1 heel. So, and they're on the magic loop. So you can see the progression, I guess, basically, of how far you can get, with 1 heel. Kind of what the process looks like a little bit. It's kind of a sample. I will plug a picture in somewhere. This is a little notification to myself. Kathleen, put the picture here. So I did finish those, and before we get, let's see, what should we do first? Let's do my crochet. I can't remember how much I had done the last time, so I just grabbed everything, and I'm going to show you everything because there's a lot of it, and it's right here. Okay, you ready? Here it comes. Ta-da! Yeah, there's a lot of crochet here. I can't remember how far I was in the last episode, so I had to finish the sample socks. I do not like knitting on a deadline. Kathleen clearly does not like that. So I didn't get as much of this done. But, to be honest, these are so addictive to crochet that there were times when I was working on these, I probably should have been working on the sample socks. Sorry, Julie. Could have had them a little sooner. Anyway, those are done. But these are super fun to crochet, and I'm really enjoying them. And to segue into what I was going to show you on acquisitions, hopefully, if you are in the Row 1 Carnival of Color, you've already gotten your order for June, and this will not be a surprise. I literally have not opened this. I think I got this like 2 weeks ago, and I have not opened it yet because I wanted to do it on here so we could do it together. If you're not familiar, Row 1 Carnival of Color is a subscription service, and you get these. It's like month to month. You don't have to commit to like a year or 3 months or 9 months or whatever. It's month to month, so you can stop, suspend your subscription for a little while, restart it, whatever you want to do. I suspended last year over the holidays because I had other things to spend money on. And I didn't do any of my yarn club. I think I restarted it in March. So they billed me in February, and then I received them in March. So I love this, and honestly, it's what allows me to make all of these, because they're all minis. I'll show you. I will show you. The microphone's right here, so I'll try to minimize the crinkle. I personally, as I've mentioned before, like crinkle. So, if you are a fan of ASMR, you're digging this right now. Crinkle, crinkle. Okay, let's get this open. So it comes in this nice little muslin bag that you get every month. It comes in a really nice little muslin bag. You could use it as like a sock sack or something like that if you're working on a project. And ta-da! Oh, they're so pretty. Oh, they're so pretty. They're like, oh, it's a little bit glary. They're so my colors. They're just beautiful. Pink is my favorite color of all time. Legit, bar none. So you get 10 of these, and we'll open it. Try to minimize the crinkle. And I'll show you what they look like. We'll pull out this speckled one. So they come like this. And this one is called, it's from Pancake and Lulu, and this colorway is called Street Graffiti. And it has a little ball band around it, but they're actually wrapped into perfect little cakes. Because I don't like a mess. I like it. I like some neatness, and I pull from the outside. I don't do center pull. I go from the outside because I'm a continental knitter. And I don't know if you know this, but if you knit continental, it's better if you pull from the outside than if you pull from the center, because if you pull from the center, you're constantly having to untwist your work if you're a continental knitter. I did not know this until I saw it, I think, on a podcast. I can't remember. Anyway, so what I do with these is I pull from the center but wind it into a ball. So it's kind of cathartic. That's not really the right word. It's just very meditative and relaxing to take each of these little cakes and wrap them, like I'll sit on my couch with all 10 of them and wrap them into balls, and then I have a basket that I put them all in. This color's really pretty. This one's called, yeah, that's really pretty. That's called Brook Trout. You can see that. Why did I tell you that? Let's see what other colors are in here. This one's pretty cool. Kind of blowing out a little bit. There we go. I think this is apple lime. But they're always indie dyers, and oh, this color is really cool. They're always indie dyers, and they're always oh god, cease the wrinkle, Kathleen, the crinkle. They're always indie dyers, and it's like a sampler, right? So you get a scrappy sampler from these indie dyers. The yarns are always lovely. They're all superwash. I get them in fingering weight, so that I can either use them for heels and toes, or I can do what I'm doing now, which is making all of the squares. And I'll tell you in a minute what I'm going to plan to do with those too. So this one is really cool. This one's called Burnt Rose. Yeah, that's really pretty. It's like, let's see, that's a little better. And how heavy? I think these are 10 grams or 20 grams. I think they're 10 grams. And you also get treats. So they also come with a little envelope just like this, super cute with all the little chevrons. Or the Charlie Brown sweater. That's just like Charlie Brown's sweater. So, open it away from the microphone. And this time, inside is some fun things. So you always get a description of the dyer whose yarns you got the samples of. They're really affordable too, by the way. Like, it costs no more per month than one skein of sock yarn. Indie dyed sock yarn. So it always comes with a description of the yarn, the dyer, like the dyer story, and then the yarn, and always has the dyer's website and things like that on here. So that's awesome. I don't always remember. When I wind them into a ball, I take the ball band off and I kind of fold it into little tiny pieces, and I wrap the yarn around it, around and around and around to make the ball. So in the center, I always have the little ball band. So if I really love that yarn and I want to make something with it, I always have that little ball band that's in the center of the little nugget that might be left at the end. I'm always left with just like a little nugget. Oh, you guys. I think maybe this is my favorite stitch marker yet. It is, I don't know, maybe I won't take it out of the package. It's a bicycle. It's so cute. You can't see the front too well because of this. There we go. Actually, it's a bicycle, and it comes with a little light bulb pin, so you can use it as either a progress keeper or a stitch marker or whatever you want to use it for. Isn't it cute? Like, I love the little hearts on the sprockets. Do you see the sprockets of the bike and their little hearts? Oh my god, it is so cute. I can't wait to use that. So you always get a stitch marker, and then you always get some kind of little candy treats of some kind, or I don't think they've ever had teas in there. I think it's always been some kind of candy. And let me tell you something. Girlfriend is a candy fiend. I love candy. And they came with Zots. Do you see? More crinkle. Too bad I don't have like a really good mic. Like one of those binaural, I can't remember how you pronounce it, but like where you could do like right ear and left ear. If you have your headphones in, because if you're like me, you watch podcasts with your headphones in. So we have blue raspberry and orange. I'm so excited. So easy to please me. So as far as acquisitions, so that came this month, and I haven't bought any yarn this month because I still have some projects I'm working on that I've already got the yarn for. I tend to not just buy yarn just to buy yarn. I typically buy for projects, and then I'll usually buy or order an extra skein, so that just in case, like, I don't want to be playing yarn chicken at the end and be using indie dyed yarn and figure out that I have to order another skein of yarn and oops, it's not going to look very much like the other ones. So I usually buy an extra skein. So I typically, in my stash, it's a lot of like the last skein that was left. But I did buy some bear yarn from Knit Picks, and I did some dyeing. Now, we're going to preface this by saying this was a major lesson, okay? This was, Kathleen, do not cram so much yarn in one pot. So this is the pot I use to dye my yarn. Let's see, it's a pretty big pot. Hardwood floors, probably shouldn't do something like that. And I also got cochineal. This is ground up bugs. So you dissolve, you know how to natural dye. If you don't, watch some videos. But so I mordanted the yarn because I wasn't sure if you needed to mordant it with cochineal. So I mordanted the yarn, and then I dissolved as much cochineal as I needed for the dye for 7 skeins. And I guess I wasn't really thinking. What I should have done is maybe 2 or 3 separate batches. But I thought, oh, it's going to fit. I'll just throw it all in there. It'll be fine. It wasn't fine. It was crammed in the pot. 7 skeins of yarn, DK weight yarn, crammed in the pot. So the end result, while it's pretty, and I'm curious to see how it knits up, and I will definitely do it again, although mind you, ground up bugs are kind of stinky. So I think I'm going to get one of those portable burners and do the cooking of it outside on my patio because it doesn't smell so good. But it makes beautiful yarn. Wait till you see this. And I have 7 skeins, so look at this. Okay, the hair out of the way, Kathleen. 3, 4, 5. Let's see, 6. Okay, so what I'll show you, so it's kind of variegated. You can see it's like a variegated color, and oh, this is a good example. So I do have 7. I have 1 more over here, but my arms are full. So so I stirred the cochineal really well in the water. I think it was hot water I was supposed to use. I can't remember. So I stirred it really well, mixed it up really well. I used even a little whisk to mix it up. And then I poured it into the pot of water for the dye bath. And clearly some of the bugs didn't dissolve. I honestly don't know how it would dissolve because it's bugs after all. It's protein, so it's not going to fully dissolve. It's not like a salt or a sugar that's going to completely dissolve. It's a protein. So I remember just enough about science to think, probably not going to dissolve all the way. So I think at the bottom of the pot, I think some of it settled down there. And where it's settled, where is it? And I told you I had them all crammed in the pot. You can see right here, this is where it touched the bottom of the pot where there was like a little clump, a little like not dissolved clump of cochineal powder. And so it did this. And I'm not really sure, it didn't do it on all of them, so I'm not really sure how this is going to knit up. I'll probably do helical knitting so that I'm using 2 skeins at once, but I still think this is only on I think maybe 2 or 3 skeins, so I'm going to have to try and, there's some right there. I have to try and creatively split them up so that the ones that have that on it kind of get mixed in. I'm not really sure what I'm going to make with it yet. It's a sweater's quantity of yarn, and I would love to maybe make a cardigan out of it. I'm kind of liking the cardigans these days, and I need them for work because, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, and it's good to have a cardigan handy. And I love this color. It's really more of a... Some of them came out like a rose color, like peony. Actually, these are like legit peony color. I have pink peonies in my yard, and these are literally peony color. But then they have this, and that's like a fuchsia color. So we'll see how it knits up. I'll show you guys when I finally decide what project to make with it. I will make sure to show it to you. So I have that. And then what else do I have? I did work a little bit more on, this is my crochet. This is those squares. I keep this in my purse at all times and I always have 2 balls in it. Always have 2 balls in there. And that's just handy. So if I'm at work, no, I guess on my lunch break, or if I'm like waiting in a line somewhere or something like that, I can always pull this out and work on this. But I also usually have in my huge purse, I usually also have my knitting too, my knitting bag. Oh yeah. See, it got a little RBG on there. So I have made a little bit of progress on, do you remember the Petty Harbor socks? These kind of sat for a little while because I was working on the sample socks. So I did make a little progress on these. And they're longer. I think I just measured them, and I think I'm like only a ½ inch away from doing the heel. So I'm making good progress. And then, you know, by the time you get to the heel, it goes, once you get through the heel and you're onto the foot, it seems to go really fast. So I did make progress on that. Yay me. And the last thing I have to show you is my Felix Cardigan. So I'm doing the Happy Knits. What is that called? Wait. Got your phone here somewhere, Kathleen. It's under all this yarn and crochet. The Happy Knits Cardigan. It's, don't you hate spell check? Or not spell check, autocorrect? Because it turned it into cardinal. No, it's Cardi-Mal. Anyway, it's Happy Knits. You got to watch her podcast, Yolanda and Jordan. You have to watch them if you don't watch them already. They are on YouTube. She is also on Instagram. Happy Knits, Happee Knits. And I'm participating in her Cardi-Mal. It's a make-along, so you could crochet, you could knit, I guess you could sew. It is a make-along for all makers. It does end, I believe, in the middle of July. I think it's like July 15th or something like that. I can't remember if she extended it through the end of the month of July. I'll put that in the notes down below, just so you know. So, last night I actually finished the body. So this was supposed to be yarn that I was going to dye, actually. It is merino wool and silk, and this one is from Dyer Supplier. And it is Aran weight, I think. And it doesn't smell so great. I don't know, do you ever notice that about some wools? They they smell like Sharpie marker. I don't know, maybe it's just my nose. Anyway, look. So, of course it's not blocked. And there's like little hairs everywhere. This yarn sheds a lot. It's a single, and it's not plied. It's not even twisted. I don't know how they make yarn like this, but it's very splitty when you're knitting, and I use my Chow Goose, so it's really splitty. I really probably should use like Addies or something that have a more dull tip so it doesn't split as much, but so this is the Felix Cardigan. So you can see this really pretty design where the raglan is. That's really beautiful. That's really going to block out really beautifully. And let's see if I can put it on. It's a gorgeous day in the neighborhood. Like it's not 100 degrees outside today. Yay. So I still have to do the sleeves, obviously, and the button band and the neck. I mean, it's like totally rolling because it doesn't have the button band on it yet. So it's kind of hard to show how it's going to actually fit. But it fits perfectly. I mean, spot on perfectly. I think I went down a needle size or two, something like that, because I think I showed you I did 3 swatches. So yeah, so it's going to be once it has the neck on, the button band, sleeves. It's going to be pretty. So I'm really excited about that. So I did do the sewn tubular bind off last night. That was a first for me. Never done the sewn tubular bind off before. So that was interesting. It's time consuming, more time consuming than like a regular bind off, just like a straight bind off. It was pretty time consuming. And it does have something stuck to it. It does have at the bottom, you can see this ribbing at the bottom hem. And then it has this. The nice thing about this sewn tubular bind off is it takes those purl stitches and kind of wraps them around, sort of. Like it looks like infinity. I guess that's what I'm thinking. Like it's like an infinity end. Like where does it start? Where does it end? It's pretty cool. Can't wait to see that blocked out too. It's the first time I've done it. 23 years of knitting, and I'm still learning. And thankfully, I love being a student. So yay. So that's done. That's in progress, work in progress. And I think that's it, actually. I think that's all I have. I mean, I know I got a lot done. It doesn't really seem like it, but I've got the sweater coming along. I think I'll be done in time for the end of the mount. I made a whole bunch of these, and I dyed some yarn, and I've knit a sample pair of socks, and I'm working on my other socks. I guess I did do a lot. So yeah, so that's about it. Just wanted to check in with you guys and, just discuss all things crafty. One of these days, maybe we'll do like a little bit of like a Q&A or something like that. That might be kind of fun. Anyway, I'll show you some videos at the end here. I'll do some videos of the chickens and what they're up to. They are loving that it's grass mowing season because we dump the grass into the chicken run because they love to scratch it and see if there's any bugs in there and eat the tender little shoots of grass. So they love that it's grass cutting season. And the weather today is absolutely gorgeous. It is Saturday, June 26th, and I think the high today is, like right now it's 68 degrees, and it's kind of looking like it's gonna rain today at some point, but it's gorgeous outside. I mean, beautiful. So I'm gonna get my butt out of here, and I'm gonna go sit back on my patio and work a little bit on one of my projects. So I will hopefully see you guys in a couple weeks. My goal is always to do this every 2 weeks. Doesn't always happen that way, but that's my goal. So hopefully I'll be back again in 2 weeks, maybe with a finished cardigan. That would be nice. And maybe, oh, I didn't tell you before I stop. So what I figured out I'm going to do, I was watching Chelsea Yarns, Christina of Chelsea Yarns. She's, in her Instagram post, she's doing, what is it called? Something Interrupted. I want to say it's Felix Interrupted, but I don't think it's Felix Interrupted. It's something Interrupted, and it's a combination of crochet. Well, actually I think it's all crochet, but it is a combination of squares. Now hers are smaller. It's actually, I believe, a scarf or a wrap or something like that, and it's squares, and I think hers are like maybe half the size of mine, and they're just granny squares, and we'll have like a row of granny squares. I see if I can find a picture. But so it's these squares, like the squares will be like this, and then you crochet the chevrons. You'll crochet, so to put them together, you'll do chevrons, and you'll crochet these together with chevrons. So when I saw her wrap, I was like so inspired, and I thought, oh, I could do that with the blanket, because I was trying to figure out how I'm going to put these together for the blanket, and I was like, that's brilliant. That'll make it like different and interesting. And the only thing I have to think about is what color I want to do for the chevrons that are going to be like, it'll be like a group of maybe I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 rows of chevrons between a row. I mean, I'm coming up with this myself, all based on this scarf and wrap pattern. But so I could do it however I want to do it. But I'm thinking, you'll have a row of the diamond on the diamond, the squares, and then maybe 4 or 5 rows of chevrons. Then another row of the squares. Then another 4 or 5 rows of chevrons. The zigzag crochet, and make the blanket that way. So I got to think about what color yarns I want to use for the chevron part. So yeah, it's going to be a fun project, and it's all scrappy. Like, it's all of the colors. It's like whatever color I have, it's all going in it. So maybe I'll even do the chevrons in a scrappy way. I don't know. It might be too noisy. Do you know what I mean? Like too busy. I might have to do some kind of, I'll lay them all out and figure out what's a good coordinating color to go with the colors that I have. Like maybe like a gray color, something like that might be good to kind of tie it all together and make it a little more unified and uniform and like a real design, right? So I don't know, we'll see. I think this is DK, so I can't use it anyway, but this isn't really going to go with all of the colors I have here. I really think a neutral, I should put them together with a neutral. So we'll see. That's still a ways down the road because even though I have a lot of these squares, I need a lot more to make a blanket. I want to make a decent sized blanket for the couch, not a little tiny throw. I want to make something that's going to be nice and cozy in the wintertime. So I want to make it a pretty good size. I mean, you could probably maybe put it on a twin bed or something, but that's kind of the size I'm thinking of for the couch. Something nice, big, generous, yummy, warm, merino wool big throw for the couch. So yeah, I forgot to tell you that. I was going to tell you that. So I will put the information on what Christina's making below, and that'll kind of give you an idea as to what my vision is, what I'm thinking of doing with this. But yeah, so like I said, I will plug in a little bit of video of the chickens. I'll go out right now and see what the girls are up to before it rains. And hopefully I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye! Okay, let's see what the girls are up to. As you can see, oh man, it's almost prime knitting weather. Look at those clouds. Yeah, baby. Man, I hope we get a nice thunderstorm out of this. Just no hail. There's the next door neighbor's ugly yard, hence the big fence. Their RV that never moves. And the girls. And you can kind of see in there the grass that we dump in there that I mentioned. Oops. No, don't focus on that. Say hello. That's Nemo. That's one of the golden girls there. I have, let's see. Oh, Buttercup must be in a nest, huh? Buttercup's not here. See my 4 speckled Sussex, they're all the golden girls. I used to be able to remember who was who, but they're just the golden girls. All the others, I remember all their names. But those 4, it's like having a set of quadruplets that are all identical. No way I'm gonna remember them. Anyway, so yeah, so our tree is looking fabulous. Nice and healthy. Got the sunshade back up because it got knocked down in the snow at our last late snowstorm we had. They think I have a treat for them. Sorry guys, no treats. No treats right now. And let's see if anybody is on the nest. Let's see. Knock, knock, knock. Nobody on a nest. But we have a bunch of eggs. And I got a dirty egg. Darn it. There's another dirty egg. No, it's just got a spot on it. Bumpy spot on it. Yeah, so trying to keep them cool in here. So that's about it. The garden ain't nothing in the garden this year. Nope, just didn't have time. Nothing but weeds. Didn't have time to do anything with the garden. But the girls are happy, and hopefully it's gonna rain soon. I can go in and have an excuse to put my feet up and just do some knitting. Yeah, so we'll see you guys soon.